meets with Food Security Council in Aso Rock. Above Benin tells security agencies to protect core members. International Press Center condemns unlawful arrest of journalists covering protests in Lagos. On entertainment, Nollywood actress Shan George gets engaged. Details of this and more after this break. I'm Benjamin Kadri. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday presided over the meeting of the National Food Security Council with 6 state governors, Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and some ministers in attendance. The meeting includes the National Security Advisor, NSA, to the President, Babagana Munguno, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi. The purpose of the meeting was to deliberate on the recent hike in prices of foodstuffs in the country. Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Gambari, observed that the general concerns over rising prices of food grains have been allayed by operators of the market, who had informed the Council that the prices are declining already. According to him, the most prevailing concern among the market leaders are the need for better coordination, synergy, and cooperation across the sector, the lack of which was responsible for widespread misinformation and nationwide speculation. The federal government is currently pushing for an energy reform that will encourage the use of auto gas as alternative to fuel. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Smipre Silva, disclosed this in an interactive session in Abuja. He said the new arrangement, when finalized, will mitigate the impact of recent fuel price hike in the country. According to the minister, the cost of converting to gas-driven vehicles will be negligible and more economical compared to the current price of fuel. He said the removal of fuel subsidy has become inevitable if Nigeria must move forward economically, pointing out that there was no better time than now to take the decision. Factional leadership of the Edo State House of Assembly are insisting that the Edo State government should halt its plans to obtain 1.5 billion naira loan from commercial banks. The factional house made the call Wednesday during a plenary in Benin. In a motion moved by the factional deputy speaker, Emmanuel Agbaji, representing Akoko Edo State Constituency 2, and seconded by a member representing Etsako East Constituency, Kingsley Ngabi. The House said it is the constitutional duty of the House of Assembly to make laws and control public funds in the state, and they have not given their approval for such loan facility.
Well, the House of Assembly of the State have not been notified and therefore have not given approval on the procurement of the loan and facility for Access Bank and Driving Bank or any other bank or financial institution for that matter. These are the results. 1. That any bank or financial institution granted or has granted unauthorized loan or facility without the recognition and approval of this Honorable House does so at its own limit. 2. That the following institutions and the rest are entitled to notice. Whatever they monitor and take appropriate action where the appropriate situation is doubted. 8. That the general administration. B. The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. C. The Director General, Debt Management Office. D. The Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crime Commission. E. The Chairman, ICC, and F. Bank Authority.
Moving on the motion, the factional speaker, Victor Edoro, said it is illegal for only 7 members of the Assembly members to sit inside a part of the executive arm in government house, building to make laws. He said copies of their resolutions will be sent to relevant authorities for actions.
in the name of legislation of the state. It is illegal, it should be stopped. And I want to be aware that the suspended clerk, I don't know why I was visiting with them. Because of this, I hereby use the opportunity to terminate the appointment. And hereby appoint substantially from the legislative career as the substantive clerk. Thank you very much.
Before joining sitting to Wednesday, 23rd September 2020, the Speaker of the House, Victor Edoro, called on Edo residents to vote the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Pastor Osage Isayamu, as his simple agenda manifesto is capable of repositioning the state to greater height. Recall that the PDP faction of Edo State House of Assembly had earlier adopted a resolution approving the request by the state government for a 1.5 billion naira infrastructural finance facility. The adoption of the resolution followed the consideration of a request by the governor containing a letter transmitted to the House. According to the lawmakers, the fund, which will attract a 16% interest rate per annum, has a management fee pegged at 1% and will be sourced from Sterling Bank PLC. The Speaker, Mr. Francis Okey, in his submission, said provisions had been made for the facility in the 2020 budget estimate, stressing that the approval of the facility was the overall interest of the state. The House, through a voice vote, thereafter gave its approval for the finance facility to be accessed by the state government. The Oba of Benin, Oba Eware II, has called on security agencies in the state to protect members of the National Youth Service Corps that will be deployed as ad hoc staff for the September 19 governorship election in Edo State. The Oba made the call when NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Shaibu Ibrahim, visited him on Thursday in Benin City, the state capital. He also volunteered to join forces with the NYSC boss to ensure the full protection of corps members who will be participating in the election. Obayawara said the concept of the NYSC to foster national unity and understanding must be upheld. As such, the palace authority is doing everything within its powers to ensure the safety of corps members in the state before, during, and after the election. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, Wednesday reached an agreement with the federal government over its ongoing strike. At the end of the meeting, the association said it will consult its executive council within the next 24 hours with a view to calling off the strike by Thursday. Both parties have been locked in negotiations to resolve issues that led to the declaration of a nationwide strike on Monday. Some of the issues revolved around the provision of group life insurance for doctors and other healthcare workers, payment of death in service benefits to next of kin as beneficiaries, universal implementation of the Medical Residency Training Act in all federal and state, immediate review of the hazard allowance of healthcare workers, and payment of the COVID-19 inducement allowance. But the federal government noted that 8 of the demands made by NERD have been addressed and the remaining 2 were in different stages of being resolved. After extensive deliberations, however, both parties reached several agreements. KFM News continues right after this break. Stay with us.
Beautiful one, I call on you today.
Bless you.
This not the kind of bless you. This is when we say coronavirus when they show itself for the world there. Now time to use tissue paper or handkerchief. Take cover your mouth or nose when they cough or sneeze. This is not time to always wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer where it contain better alcohol. This is not time to give ears as an avoid me. Give me space to any person where they cough or sneeze. This is not time to protect yourself or neighbors from sickness. So if you notice anything, sharp, carry yourself for the person go hospital or call this number free of charge. You're not going to collect money for your hand. That is toll-free number for 080 00 26 7662 080 00 26 7662. 62. The first time we bring this other number for 080-0970-00-010. Remember, say life now says coronavirus not the show for Facebook, but person with life. You will carry first. This message will continue to 2.7.
Welcome back. Still in the news. The police in Lagos State have ended the protest rally of one of the registered political parties in Nigeria, the Socialist Party of Nigeria, SPN. They also arrested about 15 members of the party and some journalists. The mass rally, which took off from the Nigeria Labour Congress Secretariat in Lagos, Yaba, was swiftly intercepted by the security operatives from the Area C police station in Ojuelegba, where those arrested are being held. The mass protest was meant to protest the registration of the SPN and a few other political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, contrary to a Court of Appeal judgment. It was also carried out to force government to reverse recent hike in the price of fuel and electricity tariff across the country. Meanwhile, the International Press Center, IPC, has condemned the arrest of 4 journalists in Lagos. The journalists who are Ifeoluwa Adeniro of Premium Times, Abiodun Oyoba of Sahara Reporters, Awoni Oluwatosin of Objective Media, and Daniel Tanimu of Galaxy Television were arrested on Thursday while covering a protest in Lagos. IPC, in a statement signed by its Program and Safety Desk Officer, Melody Akinjino, while demanding for the immediate release, said the arrest was unlawful. It also decried the seizure and damage to their working tools. IPC noted that the right to peacefully assemble and ventilate grievances over government policies is covered by the laws of the Federation and should not be tampered with arbitrarily. Coming up in a moment in our entertainment news, Nollywood actress Shan George gets engaged. You're still on to News Break on K92.7 FM. Over now to entertainment. Nollywood veteran actress and film producer Shan George